What's up, good people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm on Ratmaro and I am on a mission to get it on the road in this episode. We got to take it to Pebbles Beach. One of those things wasn't true. Well, we're starting right here. I went ahead and bolted in the radiator since we know it doesn't leak and seems to fit okay. We got to get some fans on here. I have this that I bought. I actually bought this for Cinderella, which is that old Ford station wagon. If you haven't seen those videos, you might want to go check those out because Cinderella was a good time. It's as cheap as it gets. I want to say it's 14 inches. I have no idea like how much air it moves or any of that jazz. But I have it, so this is what we're going with for now. And if it turns out that it doesn't work well, you know, I guess we'll do something different. But you just never know. It might be awesome, and I might be rich and famous. We're just going to do the fan zip tie thing. I guess we're doing it like this. I don't know. Does it really matter? As long as it holds the stinking fan on. I already have a feed here for the fan. So I just need to put the strangle hold on this thing to the radiator and then wire it up and we'll check it. That looks awesome. We'll stick it right there. Looks like good a place as any. Oh, well, I didn't do that right at all. I guess I'm supposed to have the foam thingies on the side of the thing. Where do you put the foam thingies? I guess we'll put them on the other thing. Oh shoot, now I've lost my place. Where did I poke the radiator? Now we stick the foam thingy on? I don't really know, man. And I'm not sure I care. But I do know where the circle little rock thingies go. Yep. That looks right. We're gonna get some cool breeze action. Cool breeze action. We gotta snip the excess of these zip tie thingies here. I mean, we're not heathens. I'll connect these couple of wires here and then we'll see what we got. Yeah, we'll see what we got, see? All right, we gotta do some finagling here, figure something out. I got throttle linkage on my list, and that's because I have no connection right now from the throttle pedal. Let me light this up for y'all. Boom! Let there be light. Anyway, look at this. This is my pedal, okay? Or whatever there is of it. And this is it. My fingers are in the way, but it's right here, okay, on the firewall. There's a rod that they make that connects to this, comes up, but it's like 40 bucks. So I'm gonna see if I can pop this out and see what we can come up with here. Oh, this I probably should have addressed, you know, before we did all this work. Oh, look, I guessed it the first time, 3/8. Holy smokes. I'm gonna get me a scratch off today. I think there's two and one underneath. Like this one won't be a problem. But I got to imagine the next one is gonna be a hootin' nanny good time. You know what I'm saying? We're 50% of the way there. It's situations like this where forethought would have been key, which I lack forethought. I got plenty of forehead. Got that. Can we maneuver the? Yes, we can. This is the piece that I just pulled off. So this would be inside the car. Now when it was all the way down, I see that this has just got, it's like a half circle or whatever. There's a flat spot. When this is on the car like this, okay, and the pedal's all the way down, that flat spot, I'll learn to speak at some point, is facing up. So we don't want to build our rod like that. We want this to be up some. The question is, I don't know exactly how far, but that puts our flat spot at a bit of an angle there. It's in the car like this. We probably want at least that much. I don't know whether we I just need to find something, maybe with a set screw, or let me dig around and see what I can come up with here. I got this piece of flat bar, and it's way bigger than what I need, but I'm gonna try to put a hole in it that matches up with the shape of this this end here, you know, half circle or 3/4 of a circle, whatever you want. I don't know what the mathematical scientific term for that is, okay, but it's just a part of a circle. I'm going to try to put that shape in this, and then okay, well, let's just see how it goes. I don't know. Yeah, looky there, I got it. It's you know, I mean, it's not perfect, but it works, and that fits right into it. You get this action. So now I think what I need to do is take this part and put me 2 little holes in there for cotter pins, and then we can do a cotter pin, and then a washer, and then our flat bar, and then a washer, and then another cotter pin. I kind of got this loosely fit on here, and it you know, it does the job, and it's kind of in line. I could put a little bend in it, I guess, if I wanted to. Don't know if I care that much. I guess we'll see if it interferes. This is a bin I keep of just random crap, you know, that's parts and pieces and different things. And in there I found this cable, and it has, this is actually throttle cable. This has the end for the carburetor, and then the other end is this right here. So I'm thinking I could just go here on my flat bar with this, and then to the carburetor with this part. It's plenty long enough, so I'm gonna try that. Check it out. I even painted it, you know, for good measure, but it's on there, and it ought to give us something. And the cable I figured out was not gonna work, but James pulled this out of a box of old, I think, Winston stuff, and I'm pretty sure that this is a pull arm for a heater box or something. But it is now being repurposed, okay? It's new life. It got a promotion. It is now a critical link in the Ratmaro fuel supply chain. See if I can get all this put together and make it make sense. Well, it don't have to make sense. It just has to make vroom, you know, vroom, vroom. I really should do this with a wrench. It'd be a lot easier with a gear wrench, ratcheting wrench, whatever you call them clicking thingies. The chances of actually tightening this bolt up increase exponentially if you have the ratcheting thingy going in the right direction. Okay. Wah, wah. Now let's see about this. I'm sure there's some geometry and math and all that kind of fun stuff that should be involved in something like this, but I didn't bother. Let me go check it from the inside. Am I getting full action here? Yeah. Oh yeah, just like General Motors. Calling that a win for now. I also worked up this bracketry here for my kick down. I just need the little stud. Boom shakalaka. All right, on to the next thing, but I'm checking off throttle linkage. So, you know, progress is progress, man. Radiator's done, fans are in, voltmeter's hooked up. I drained some water, put some antifreeze in here. So now we need to get this thing running and set the idle and everything, and let it go through an actual heat cycle. Set the timing, make sure it's detonating when it's supposed to. I got a fuel leak. I've been working trying to get this dialed in, and it's idling way too high, like 1500 to 2000 RPMs. And that is normally you would think vacuum leak. Well, I've checked everywhere and I can't find a vacuum leak. This is the carburetor that I had on it initially. So I thought, well, maybe something's wacky with the carburetor. It's old, maybe it's got a leak in there somewhere. So I swapped to this carburetor and it flooded immediately and it was doing the same thing. So that leads me to believe my fuel pressure is too high from that pump, you know, which could also be a cause. So I'm gonna swap back to the original carburetor, and we're gonna put this fuel pressure regulator on and see if that fixes this up. But I think the pressure's too high and it's blowing, just blowing fuel past, because when I pulled it off, the gasket was like basically soaked with fuel, smelled of fuel real bad. So anyway, I'm thinking that's the problem. We're going to try this. I mean, if this doesn't solve the problem, then we'll keep digging, and it's got to be a vacuum leak or something really wacky. But you know, I feel like this is a good chance this is it, and it really needs a fuel pressure regulator anyway. Either way, we're going to get it fingered out here. Back on with this one. Just because this was the better acting of the two is the only reason, you know, less work. Now we got to modify our fuel supply line here slightly. I guess we'll put that regulator like right up in here. It has an out to the carburetor, and this will feed it. That should, you know, be a good spot. Man, I got to undo all of this quality craftsmanship. It pains me. Alrighty, flare this line out a little bit for a, you know, so it'll hold the hose with this specialized flaring tool, otherwise known as a punch. I mean, it's not EFI line, you know, it's not holding 50 pounds of pressure. It just needs to be good enough where it won't come off of there. All right, now we'll get our regulator up here. Let's see. Yeah, I think that looks about right. We got us an in from the bottom and an out from one side. It'll come out from this side too, but I just plugged it. Don't need that. I need my supply line cut right about there. Yep. Awesome. Okay, I need no new fuel line, which I have this, and I want to run. I have this piece, and I do want to put a fuel filter in here. How about this cheap old thing? I want to say the AutoZone or something. So maybe we can get this in here and then run a little whoop-de-doo over there. Yes, sirree. This is getting fancy up in here. Fancy. Way fancier than I really anticipated. It wouldn't need all this if we could do the mechanical fuel pump, but we can't. So here we are. Now the booklet on this regulator said it come preset at 6.5 psi, which is really about the max for this Edelbrock over here. So what I'm going to do is back it out half a turn. What is that? I don't know, but it should be less than 6, I would hope. But we can always keep dialing it back. I don't care if it has less, it just can't have more. Half a turn counterclockwise, and we'll see if it stops flooding out the carburetor. I turned the pump on, and I'm just checking to make sure, letting it build up, you know, checking to make sure we don't have any leaks. I don't see anything. No drippy drippy means starty starty. Okay, that's about as good as I can get it, but I at least right here and now, that's a lot better, but it still feels just a little off. I'll get myself a vacuum gauge and put it on there or whatever, but It's a lot better. One thing, that alternator is not charging, as I suspected. That was the reason we took it off of Shrapnel on Power Tour. So I'm gonna have to get me an alternator, or take and get that one fixed, or something. That regulator actually went a long way towards solving our problem, so that's good. I actually did get a drive shaft when I got this car, but it's too long, so I have it out at the drive shaft shop, and they gave me this yoke, which is the correct yoke for this transmission. Well, they didn't give it to me. I'm sure they're going to charge me for it, but they gave it to me to bring back and put in the transmission to give them the measurement. So when I go to pick the drive shaft up, this is how they do it, which is fine by me. They give you the yoke, you come back, put it in your transmission, you get the measurement they want, give it back to them. When they get the drive shaft done, you take them the yoke back, and then they press it on, the U-joints or whatever, and give it to you, and you bring it back, you just slide it in, you're good to go. So I'm just waiting for them. While we're waiting for them, I have 2 leaks. The one that I told you about from the transmission, which I believe is that front seal. And in order to fix that, you got to get the transmission out, like I said. And I'm not doing that, at least until I drive it, right, and figure out whether or not the transmission's any good. Because I don't want to pull the transmission out now and fix the seal and then put it back and then drive the car and figure out the transmission is shot and I have to pull it back out and get it rebuilt. We'll just test it with the leak. Well, either way, I guess it's got to come out, but then it would only have to come out once. I don't know. That's just what we're going to do, okay? The other leak I got here is this pinion seal, and it's doing a pretty good job. So while we're waiting for the drive shaft, I'm thinking I go ahead and fix this pinion seal. Obviously, the fluid level is, up there, so I want to get the fluid level lower so we can change the seal and get it clean and everything. I don't know why I got this instead of a socket. Don't judge me. I'm just gonna catch it in my Bojangles jug. Mr. Bojangles, catch my Earl, please. It's expensive. I don't need to catch it all. I drain the whole thing. I just need to get it low enough. It's filling up fast, huh? It's still coming. All right, plug it up, plug it up. Put that somewhere where I'm sure to knock it over and spill it. Or, because it looks like tea, I'll think it's tea and drink some. This being a fancy, expensive race car rear end, we want to make sure we get this right. And my preload is literally a fingernail. So, should be easy, right? We're just going to put a mark right there and back it off, or take it off, and then when I put it back on, I'll do a fingernail and line my marks up, and then we'll feel pretty confident that it's right. Take her off here. Stop spinning. Get our washer, slide our doohickey off. Let's get this worthless seal out. Whoa. Oh crap, apparently I didn't drain enough. Oh, maybe I did. All right, I'm just gonna shove this in here until I come back with the seal. That way it can serve as a wick and suck out all my fluid. Yeah, I got the seal. I had to order it. They didn't stock it, so we had to wait a little bit, but it's all well and good. All right, let's clean this up. I'm gonna go around the outside of this with just a little bit of RTV to help hopefully seal it up this time. Okay, and we go. Perfect. And I got my fingernail. Ha ha. I got a smaller wrench this time. Made it a little easier. You get wiser as time passes. That's what they say. And I am now wiser. Although I will say, I didn't really consider how to get the fluid from the jug back into the, into the, the thing here. I could try this. I gotta tell you, I'm not feeling real confident about this. But maybe if we use the little spout thingy. Oh, okay, that's not gonna work. Let me rethink this. Do it like this. Nope, that's not working either. So far, I'm calling this a fail. I could use my little pump thingy here, but I lost one section of it, so I have to set this down and hope that I can suck it out. Okay, that's working all right. God, I'll be all day with this. I sure do miss that bag. Still pumping. Well, now I should be able to just put that in there, right? Yeah. That's working out great. Crap. That's not working out so great. How about this now? Can I do it this way? I mean, crap. I didn't really consider how I would get it from the tea jug back into the freaking pumpkin. And now I'm just making a mess everywhere because I'm an idiot. I'm going to cut more of this jug off so I can get the pump down in there. This is ridiculous. Back in there with you. This is like a sideshow. This really is aggravating my fibromyalgia and my arthritis and my carpal tunnel. Don't do what I do, kids. What a disaster. It's an absolute freak show under here. Okay. And sometimes you come up with a creative solution to a problem and it's ingenious and you just hang on to it, And sometimes they're never to be spoken of again. Look, my hood emblem is rusting nicely as planned. We got to be able to shift gears in this thing, and there was no linkage or anything when I bought the car. I don't know. And I looked all over the marketplace and everywhere else. I went to a swap meet trying to find a shifter that would work that I was happy with, and I just couldn't. So I ended up buying one. I know. It's a budget deal. But sometimes you just gotta, reach deep into that wallet and do some things you really don't want to do. And I'll be honest with you, my wallet is hurting a little bit after this, but I got this B&M. Basically, it's a universal shifter. Hopefully this will do it for us. Let's get it in the car and see if we can check this off the list. I need the Bosch Around booklet. It comes with all these parts and pieces. There's our cable, the actual shifter, this nice plastic thingy, and then the plastic thingy that goes on top of the plastic thingy. And we got our handles, some hardware, some switches. Step one is remove, all the stock linkage. And I'm pretty comfortable with skipping that step. And now we got to get the jam nut and the T handle on the shifter, and then put the shifter in the car and figure out where we exactly want it. So let's do that. Black. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. There's a warning in the book about cross-threading this nut, and I could see why, because it very easily goes on there wrong and more difficultly goes on there the correct way. Okay, I think we got it. Spinning freely, okay. B&M, i.e. Holly. Let's see. I guess really, mainly what we're after is just making sure it's, we're comfortable with where it is. I'd like to have it come back a little more, actually. Let's see. If I'm sitting here, preparing to go out on the street and terrorize all of my neighbors, that's a little bit of a reach. How about there? Does that work for me? Oh shoot, I moved it. Let's just do it right there. I mean, how much do we care? I mean, we care a little. Okay, that'll be good. So after consulting the manual. All we got to do is mark these holes where this is going to drill into place, and then there's a neutral safety switch and a backup switch that we can mount or we don't. You know, I'll go ahead and mount them. I'm just not sure I'll use either one, but anyway. And then we'll just bolt this to the floor, and then I guess the real fun begins. So here and here, holes marked. I'll go mount these switches. We'll drill these holes out. You just mount your little switches, you know, right here with these skinny little screws. And they were, you know, they said they got to go in from left to right or whatever. I guess that's important. And of course you got to verify that they're opening and closing when they're supposed to based on your shift. Yeah, these folks are extraordinarily specific. They put in the instructions to drill a 9 30-second hole. But listen, don't think you're drilling a 1/4-inch hole and getting away with it. No, sir. You need that extra 30 seconds of an inch. You know, with it being that precise, I'm concerned now about my holes being off alignment. Then I'll have to drill them out to 30 seconds of an inch. They said if it's not level, you could shim it with some washers. But it looks pretty level to me. Look at that. It must have been that extra 30 seconds of an inch. I'm gonna have to get James to help me. I got to go underneath and you know, put some nuts and stuff on there. Oh man, they kind of they stick out a little ways, don't they? How about that? Okay. Look, I told you that would leak. They all do. Matter of fact, the oil pan one is doing it too. They want us to drill a hole for the cable. They don't say what size of hole. They just say make sure it has 3/16 a clearance around it, and it needs to be 3.5 inches from this thing. So 3.5. Let's see. That would be here. So I guess we'll get the Christmas tree, and that way we can just keep making the hole bigger until we're happy with it. I guess we'll start off with a, you know, a pilot is what they say. I'll just pull this thing back. Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. Holy crap. I think I got the shakes or something. All right, well, I don't know how big it has to be, but I guess we could start there. I mean, but something tells me it's probably going to have to be bigger than that. Going the wrong way. Get in there, dang it. Oh, yeah, that's pinching something terrible. I think we need, you know, much bigger. Yeah, that's big a hole as I'm getting with this particular Christmas tree. I mean, I don't know why that wouldn't be fine. Can we call that fine? We gotta line this thing on. I gotta figure out how I get her rotated. Well, the time I got this cable, you know, attached, and it's in my hole, it's not touching anywhere, you know? Like, that's how good I am. You can't even register my IQ, okay? You can't even test for it. It's just off the charts. Yeah, I like my cool temporary shifter. We got to get this bracket in place here, and that means we got to take these 2 pan bolts loose, which is awesome because the transmission already leaks from everywhere else. So why don't we go ahead and, you know, get it leaking from here too. We got to have this spacer, and then a bolt and a flat washer. You know, they said to use the flat washers in the kit, but there's plenty of flat washers, but none that fit these bolts, which we have to replace the bolts that were in here with these bolts. I just want to get some kind of pressure on this before I loosen the other one, so I don't get a gusher here. And then this thing goes on here, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know where the nut is for this. I'm gonna have to find a nut that'll fit it. Found one. a lock nut even. There's no way it's for this, but it fits. So that's what we're going with. So with the cable, you know, you just got to make sure it's not going to bind up. So I have it looping around and back this way. It's like one big magic loop. Oh yeah. Okay. That's basically going to be perfect, except for the exhaust is a little bit of a concern. You know, if I have to, I'll build a heat shield, because this is where the shifter has got to go, dang it. Well, we got to put this that little doohickey on here. Let's see. It says just thread it on about midway. It said midway. Adjust the shifter cable as described. Manually move the selector lever to neutral. Reverse neutral. Adjust the cable bracket nuts and the swivel until the swivel slips freely in and out of that selector lever hole. Don't I have to put the shifter in neutral too? Oh yeah. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. We should be in neutral now. I don't know what was happening under here. I guess right there. Well, now we got to go through the different gears and check it. And so I'm going to need James to come out here and help me. Pull it one click back to drive. All right, hold it right there. Perfect. Now one click forward back to neutral. All right, now one click forward to reverse. There you go. Oh, we are golden. Golden. I need to get some thread locker on here. Oh, whoops. That was like a lot, but that's okay. I'll just wipe it off and pretend that didn't happen. Well, my camera died on me, but it works just fine. It, you know, goes through the gears the way you would expect. So I think we're good there. Now we got to fit the, you know, the decorative stuff. Basically, you got to measure this. See where it's got this mounting hole right here. So you measure from the underside of that to the top of this mounting tab, front and rear. And then you got to cut off the excess. So I'm getting 5/8 on both ends. So we're just going to take 5/8 of an inch off the bottom of this thing all the way around. Yeah, so the Bosch Around booklet says, you know, measure it, take a little bit off at a time and keep fitting it until it's right. Listen, okay, you know, for a show car, that's probably fine. This is the Ratmaro. So, you know, we're going to cut this one time. You hear me? Once. I do not have all day to be messing around trying to get a perfect fit on a plastic shifter housing. I mean, they should be fortunate that I'm even spending this much time on it. And I would put this joker in a bandsaw, but it won't fit. We're going with the classic double tape method. And then once I get it cut along both long sides, the backs is just meet one side to the other. That is the approach here today. Oh crap, I didn't make this piece of tape long enough. And because it won't fit in the bandsaw, we're going with death wheel. Yeah, nice smooth cut right there, Pulse. Oh, the plastic, it's melting on me. Y'all know what just happened, right? You don't have to guess, okay? This is Hammer's Garage, okay? You know what happened. It's become a staple of my videos. Gotta do something? Dead battery. Whew, that stuff stinks. I wonder if it's toxic. Look at it melting and smoking. That's it's a metal cutting wheel. Listen, this is how it goes, man, around here, okay? You would think that would be good, I mean, but it's still connected because as it was cutting, it was melting itself back to itself. So I'll have to unmelt what I've melted. That really should be good. I just got to clean up all the melting stuff. There. see there? Bitchin' rides. Imagine if I was trying to do this show quality, which is exactly what you'll have to do. Imagine it. Cinch it down and get the top part, and then I think we're done with this. Put this on, and then I'll put our doohickey back in. I had to take this out. That's what the instructions said, in order to put this, get all this on here. I cannot see the hole in this thing. There's no way is this happening. I just can't see where to put the pin in at. See if we can shed a little light on the subject. And of course, light's not going to help me because I can't bend my neck like an otter. I still can't see it. Is that the hole? I don't know. Oh, it is. Somehow I pulled that off. Don't ask me how. Don't get me lying to you. Uh-oh, what's happened now? What's happening? Why? How come all of a sudden it doesn't want to work anymore? Why is that? Why? Okay. What's happened? Now I got to take all of this back apart and figure out what happened just by putting the plastic thing on, that it doesn't want to work anymore. Y'all want to know why? You know that you get a video every so often on this car, and because these kind of things that should be done, you know, quickly, turn into something else. Let's see what's happened. Everything was going fine, it worked fine, and now it doesn't. Okay, so that should be 1, 2, drive, neutral. Okay, now I need to pull this up to go to reverse and then park. So now it works. Okay, I'm in park. I got to pull this up and go to reverse, and then neutral, and then drive. Well, that's how it's supposed to work. So I don't know what the heck, what happened. Now we'll try to put this back on. Okay, we're going to go through this rigmarole one more time. Okay, now let's check it again. Okay, and now it won't go forward. Well, now it goes forward. Back to 2, drive, neutral, or I guess that's neutral, reverse, and then park. I don't know, maybe it'll work correctly once I get it put back together. Sure, let's just, you know, be hopeful that way. Let's just work this on a wing and a prayer. Now I got to try this again. A little teeny pin into a little teeny hole that I can't see. Got it. And now this time we're actually going to click it down into place like this. Okay, there. Okay, it's working. So, you know, let's just leave it at that. Get some thread locker on here and get this handle done, and then I'm done. We're checking it off. Shifter. It's like 2 days later or something like that. We had a hurricane come through. Didn't bother us too bad. It kind of skirted around, but I feel bad for the people that it did. Messed up a lot of stuff. I've got to get some kind of lights on this thing. You know, I live in Georgia, and they have these crazy state laws where you got to have brake lights and turn signals and stuff like that. So I'm just going to see what I can mock up here. Well, the harness obviously came with wires for this, and I feel like, because they want you to use the factory light switch, which makes sense. That's fine. So I guess I got to get under here and clean up a little and pull this switch out and whatever, but I can run these to the back and you know, try to sort that out. Y'all see why I said we should abandon that harness? I mean, it is burnt up in so many different places, all the way back. I'm just gonna, this is the, it's the group that goes to the trunk. I'm gonna cut all this out and pull this switch and try to run it new. Yes, I am sparing you all the vast majority of this. You're welcome. Because for one, wiring sucks, okay? I know some people enjoy it, and it's necessary. And, you know, I mean, it's not horrible, but it kind of sucks. On this car, of course, it's a little especially challenging. There's a old light switch, and it was garbaggio. So I had to get a light switch. And then these things, you know, like just for the tail lights, most of them are broken in one fashion or another, and they got these Scotch lock things on. So I'm having to take each one to see if I can get it to work, so I don't have to buy a bunch of these things, and I don't even know if you can buy these. It's just tedious stuff that no one wants to see. I'm having to, you know, sort these out. And those kids in Singapore didn't exactly group these wires the right way. I would have had this done by now if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Do I need a license plate light?
I'm gonna go with no. This should all be left. So left, back up, left, turn, left, park. Right. No, left. These are the right. Right. I think we got it fingered out. Now I just gotta wire them up. Yeah, somebody's got lights. Ooh, pretty. Do I got brake lights? I got headlights too. Fancy. We got headlights. No, we got, let's see, we got tail lights, brake lights, and headlights. Parking lights, running lights, whatever you want to call them. I got everything but turn signals. I didn't worry with the turn signals. I mean, people don't need to know what direction I'm turning, okay? You know, you need a little mystery in your life. And I did something that's absolutely going to tick off all the Camaro purists. I turned the two front turn signals into daytime running lamps. Check this out. They come on with the ignition, watch. Yeah, pretty slick, huh? All right, I'll worry with turn signals later. I don't need that to drive up down the road. I really don't even need parking lights and headlights because I don't plan on driving at night. But just in case, you know, you get caught late somewhere. Definitely got to have brake lights though. So all that's taken care of. Move on to the next thing. So I picked up this toolbox. It was at a factory that we were closing down, and I think it was, I don't know, a maintenance toolbox or something, but it was in the junk and trash pile. It was about to be tossed out. So I grabbed it. I have no need for it. It didn't cost me a dime. It's just sitting in my garage taking up space. So I thought maybe the Ratmaro could use it. But I want to fix it up first. I'm going to dump a bunch of stuff, this stuff on it. Look at there. Working like a charm. It's like it's got the mange or something. Stuff seemed to be working so well. I went ahead and did the tray, and the inside I just coated the whole thing. This should be easy. Most of it just is coming off anyway. What kind of jackass puts this much work into a stupid box for a crap car? This kind. Yep. You're looking at him. Check it out, y'all. It matches. I fixed up the handles. I got the Ratmaro badge on there. We got the tray all set. I even put a liner in it. Now, a sane person would use this to put some tools in, maybe some wiring, some fluids, or whatever to address mechanical issues that you might have on the road. But I think we have a better use. I'm thinking we need some license plates, a drill, some self-tappers, some rivets, a rivet gun, some duct tape, a couple of drill bits. You see, the biggest problem with the Ratmaro is that it likes to fall apart. So this is my traveling body repair kit. Well, I'm in here while I'm waiting for my drive shaft and some other stuff to just trying to tidy up this wiring and everything. Not so much for looks, but really more so that I don't burn to a crisp. It's funny, I got these two wires running in front of my fuel line and the rest of them running behind my fuel line. So I'm going to take this fuel line off and fix that, because that's the kind of stuff that I that I care about, right? Not the important crap, just, you know, shiznit like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, I can't explain to you how my mind works. I'm not saying it's good. That's just what it is. Okay, let's not fight it. Let's just live with it. I mean, the hell with turn signals, you know. But we got to make sure these two wires are running with the rest of them, no matter how much trouble it actually is to try to get done. Okay, I'm happy now. Look, I lubed up all my wiring. Yeah, it's a show car. Tell your friends. Well, y'all really aren't going to believe this. I'm such an idiot. I was cleaning up the shop, and underneath the back of the car, see right there? Well, that is a box of loose stuff that we pulled out of the car, you know, out of the trunk and stuff like that. And look what was in there. That's right. See, those of you with more sense than me will recognize this immediately as the throttle linkage that belongs to the car. So I'm going to clean this up and see if we can put it on. I'm going to pop this apart and see if I can get it cleaned up. You know, comparatively speaking, I have a pretty average sized head. So sometimes I wonder how it holds so much stupid. In case you're wondering, no, there was nothing else in the box that make me look bad. Just this. This is enough. Looks like somebody took a bite out of it. I wonder what we should do about that. Oh, I know. Nothing. I guess I'm going to take off my homemade contraption here that I put all this work into. Well, you just got a promotion and now you're getting fired. Well, that's got to sting. I believe this goes on this way. Ow. Must go on that way. Let's go put it in and find out. Yep, it goes on that way. And I guess we'll go with this, you know, to make Camaro people happy. It's just a moderate improvement over what I had. I will just get this adjusted. That looks pretty good. Finally got my drive shaft back from the drive shaft shop. You know, they told me it would be 3 or 4 days, and it was 2 weeks. And then the slip yoke that they gave me, I did not realize at the time they were going to charge me $102 for it. You know, I'm all about supporting the local businesses and stuff, but come on, I got this on Amazon for 40 bucks. These little clips are such a pain in the butt. Banging in from one side and then the other. Don't mess the needles up. Get your little clips in. Cake. All right, let's get this in the car. Now let's see if they cut it correctly, I guess. That would be nice. Yeah, maybe it's just me, but I remember back in the day when you would take your drive shaft to a drive shaft shop, when you got it back, you know, cut and balanced and everything, it was also cleaned and painted. It was like new. I guess we just don't do stuff like that anymore. I don't know, but it's kind of sad. I feel sad about it. Not so sad that I'm not going to shove it in here anyway, looking exactly the way it does. Just a little sad. Perfect. I'm going to get my stupid U-bolts in there. I'll see if I can persuade it. What do you know? It has been appropriately persuaded. I don't want to get it too tight. I want to put the other one in. This one needs a little persuading also. Yeah, I know. I could roll the thing around. But that requires me putting the transmission in neutral, which means I got to get out from here. And why do that when I can just beat the ever-loving snot out of it and make it go my way? All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we have a drive shaft. Of course, that front seal is, you know, still leaking. I mean, it's losing more oil than P. Diddy. Well, now we can solve the mystery of whether or not this transmission actually works. Let's fire it up and see. That's funny. I heard a noise and I thought, oh hell, we done blowed something up. It was just the drum came off. There we go. Now we can put our wheels and tires on, and I'm excited to show you all what we're going with. I found these slot mags on Facebook Marketplace. They need a little cleaning up, but for the most part, they're in really good shape. And they were cheap. And I like cheap, in case you haven't noticed. Which is why I got the cheapest tires you could get off of Amazonia. Milestar Street Steel. These are 235 60/15s. I got to run them to the tire shop, get them mounted and balanced, because you know, I'm not a big fancy shop with a tire machine. I'm not even a crappy little shop with a tire machine. Man, we got to get these things looking right and tight. Can't be putting no shoddy looking wheels on the Ratmaro. I got this mother's polish. I like this. I just take a scad. This stuff works good. You don't believe me? Here, watch this. You are not going to believe your eyes. It's like sham wow. You can use steel wool too if you use the 0000 steel wool, which I might have to in this little spot right here because it's looking not so good. Quickest way I found to get this blue crap off of here is warm water and an SOS pad. Now rinse it off with the hose and we'll be good to go. Hell yeah! Now these are Rocket Racing slot mags, and Rocket Racing wheels hadn't been made in something like 40 years. And of course you get them off the marketplace. You know, there weren't any lug nuts or anything like that. I was lucky to get the center caps. They're dual pattern and they got this thick center and heavy offset. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So I made a call to the lug nut guys and I just got new nuts. Apparently that's what these guys do, is lug nuts and stuff. I called him up and he knew exactly what I needed. I placed the order, I had it in a day or two. Listen, I'm not sponsored by these guys. I paid for this. They did send me the t-shirt, but super knowledgeable. They had exactly what I needed and they got it out right away. They also sent me this bolt pattern gauge and this little application guide that I can use in the future, plus some stickers. Listen, these guys are fantastic, okay? Again, not sponsored by these guys. I'm just telling you the honest truth that they're great. So if you need new nuts or if you're having a problem with your nuts, take it from me. You can feel good about putting your nuts in their hands. I did, and it worked out great. Yes, sir. No more nut problem for me. We got this sorted out here. These wheels are lug centric. You got to have these shank lugs, and then you got to have these washers that sit in the little divot of the wheel, and they got to be a certain size and all that stuff. And I just told the guy what I had, what I was doing. He said, oh yeah, you need this, that, and the other thing. And boom, there it came. Yeah, lug nut guys gets a spot on the window. I would have put lead brakes up there too, but their sticker was too big. Good news, bad news. I got it down on all fours, and you know, because I'm an idiot and I cut those springs, it is now too low and rubbing badly. I got some springs coming. I'll swap them out right quick and hopefully fix that up. Don't do what I do, kids, okay? Only a bonehead would cut his springs before he knew, you know, if they actually worked or not. Only a bonehead. I mean, who needs a spring compressor when you have a complete and utter disregard for your own safety and well-being? Ooh, I'm going to just hold this rotor in front of me in case something goes wacky. Hell yeah, look at that stance now, boys and girls. Woo-wee! We got something here. We got something here. we gambled on that transmission and we lost. That transmission is shot dead. That's what happens when you gamble. That's why gambling is bad. And if you have a gambling problem, there's a hotline for you to call. But there is no hotline for replacing a bad transmission. There's only replacing or rebuilding a bad transmission. It is Tuesday, and I got a car show I wanted to take this to on Saturday. So, what to do, Ugh, this sucks.